Right now, there's going to be a lot of YouTubers out there asking, what is the future of art and design for 2022? What if I told you that the answer is K-pop? What's going on, guys? My name is Dave Connery, and I am the seven-figure designer, and this one is going to be extremely off the cuff, very little editing. I'm sitting here in the studio. I'm working on my first course, which is called Fast Fonts. You can see this is some sort of physical representation of what I've been working on. This course is actually taking me a little bit longer than I expected, and this video was actually supposed to be about something completely different, but that's okay. That's how we roll. But this video is going to be straightforward to the point, with as little rambling as possible, but still rambling because I'm not going to edit this much because I need to get the video up so that I can continue working on this other stuff. This Christmas, I got to sit down with my family, and I got to hang out with and talk with two of my nieces who are very much into K-pop. In fact, one of them is really into BTS right now. She's kind of a new fan to BTS, and if you're not familiar with BTS, like, what rock have you been sitting under? But BTS is kind of like probably the most world-renowned K-pop band out there. She's really into that. She's really starting to get into the whole thing, the mix of, right? She's in the pop culture level of K-pop right now. And my other niece, who has been a K-pop fan for a very long time, she is much deeper. Now, she likes BTS, but she also likes some of these other bands. But what I've learned a lot from them is that I believe the future of how we are going to operate as artists, as designers, as brands, as collectors of things, or rather purveyors of things that get collected, is all going to be defined by how these K-pop bands work. Because I think that a lot of popular culture music right now has kind of been following the K-pop thing. Like, they've been following not necessarily the method or the music itself, but rather how these bands are operating. And if you could just take a look at what's actually happening with some of these bands right now, it was mind-blowing to me what's happening with the bands and their fans. So I want to paint this a little bit. Okay. The bands have their music, and of course they do tours all over the place. And they have their music videos, and they have all these events that they show up at, and they get paid for all of these things. On top of that, they have merchandise, right? They all have merchandise that they sell in relationship to whatever it is. So it could be CDs or compact discs, rather, which is weird, right? You would think that compact discs, how are those a thing? I'll get to it. On top of that, there's posters, t-shirts, and all kinds of other merchandise. Then there's also like plushies and socks and like, I don't know, that was random. Shirts, clothing, all these different things. But it's not just pictures of the guys in the band or the girls in the band, as the case may be. It's as if they all have these personas. And each one of their personas is not just the individual person, but like in the case of BTS, they all have their own little icon, their little avatar, a character. And so then those characters become personas themselves, and they have their own line of merchandise. And so whatever I can't remember his name is, Shuggy, he's the Sugar, whatever, and he's got a plushie that's called Sugi or something like that. I don't know the names. I'm not a BTS fan. If I'm getting this wrong, I'm sorry. But my one niece, who was kind of new to this, she was adorned in all of this Shuggy stuff. And she had a sweatshirt that had Shuggy. She had socks that had Shuggy. She got a plush doll that was a Shuggy thing. She got another little squeezy like thing that you hang off of your backpack, like it's like almost like a key ring or whatever. It's one of those things, and she had them all up. And those are just a few of the different things that she could have or could purchase or could be bought for her, right? And she probably could get so much more because everybody now knows that she's into that particular character in BTS. Or maybe there's a couple and she wants all of them for all the different characters. Or maybe they want to collect all the things from all the guys in the band. On top of that, there's also these CDs. And I want to talk about these. Okay, so I told, we bought my one niece, what'd she call it? She called it an album, right? She called it an album. And if you go look at, like, say, Stray Kids is another band. BTS, Blackpink. These are just the ones that I know off the top of my head. If you go look at these, you go search on Amazon for album, right? You're going to find what looks like books. It actually looks like a book. And it reminds me of like when we were younger, instead of like we would get a CD and it would be one CD. But if we wanted like say the entire collection, like say the entire Led Zeppelin collection or the entire Guns N' Roses, whatever collection of music, I can't remember what they called those things, but it would be this bigger box with all the CDs and they would have like booklets in there. We didn't really take that. Like we didn't really take advantage of that as a society. I think people collect them, and there's probably plenty of people that still have them. But I don't think artists really took it like to heart about what was possible there. But these K-pop bands, they've actually really embraced this idea of an album. And it's not like a physical LP. It's actually just a CD. But the funny thing is the CD is not something that actually gets listened to. It's not the CD inside this album that they care about. When you open up this box for these albums, it's got booklets, it's got posters, it's got stickers, it's got all these other different collectibles that you can get when you buy the CD. So you buy the CD or the album and you get all of this collectible stuff, which can then be turned around and traded or, like flipped. If you wanted to on eBay, you could flip some of this stuff. Because it's only going to be that way for a little bit. And then later on, they're going to change it. And so the next one is going to be even, different, of course. But then they may turn around and make the past album different. Like the last album that they put out, they may change that one to make it match the new one a little bit. And so the past one that my niece just got, that might become a big collectible, especially if it's all together. And so I look at this and I think about, okay, so they're turning the band into a merchandising machine. They're really embracing the idea of collectibles. They are also turning it, every single individual is coming out of it with their own persona and then an alternative persona with these avatars. It's like, think about it as like, imagine if every BTS character had a Hello Kitty icon. That's kind of what this is. I don't know where this falls in the realm of NFTs when it comes to these guys, but I guarantee you that all of this stuff is going to be involved. Like NFTs are going to be a major factor in all of this as well, if it isn't already that way. And if it is already that way, then that's a clue to you and I that whatever it is that we're designing, I think we need to start really taking advantage of the opportunity to build something that creates, for lack of a better term, fervor with the people that like our stuff. Whatever it is that we're doing, how do we create that kind of energy, that kind of impulsiveness to want to collect all the things that we put out? What can we learn from what BTS is doing with this? Does that mean we need to go and make cutesy icons for everything we do? No. Does it mean we need to make collectibles out of everything that we make? No. But there is an opportunity here. And it's one of these things that I'm going to be thinking about, from 22 and beyond. I'm really thinking, NFTs is definitely something I'm looking into. But as I review what I learned on Christmas Day from these two young girls, as I reviewed in my head what was actually happening, what they were teaching me about this stuff, it really makes me think like, okay, there's huge opportunity here. How do I make it work for me without, number one, without being false or fake? And, number two, opportunist. How does it feel real for the people that appreciate what I do? How do I turn what I'm making into something that you guys will want to hold on to, purchase, maybe even trade? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question yet. I just want to put this out here because I think that there's, it's a huge opportunity. It's a huge opportunity, and there's probably bigger brains out there than mine that have already figured this out, but I believe that it's something we should be thinking about more often. On that note, I'm going to go because I got a lot of work. I got to work on this thing, get this done, so then I can go and talk about and think about and consider all these things that I just said. All right, so this, then this, and then the world. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the like button. Comment if you think I'm right or wrong. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. And hit that bell button because you never want to miss a thing. All right? Guys, Happy New Year. Remember, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See ya.